Welcome back to another deep dive cybersecurity walkthrough. Today, we are exploring one of the most commonly overlooked, yet critically dangerous vulnerabilities in web applications, insecure direct object references, or IDOR. This is part of my Hacktify Cybersecurity Internship series, and in this tutorial, we'll break down what IDOR is, real-world case studies, lab scenarios, and the best practices you can use to defend your applications. As always, a complete write-up along with all code examples and technical details is available through the link in the description. You'll find it both on Medium and GitHub for your convenience. Before we start, a clear disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes only. The techniques and vulnerabilities discussed should only be tested in controlled environments where you have permission. The goal here is to learn, not to exploit. Let's begin by understanding the basics. IDOR is a type of access control vulnerability. In simple terms, it happens when an application exposes references to internal objects, like database IDs, file names, or records, in a way that users can manipulate. If there are no proper permission checks in place, attackers can change these values and gain access to information or functionality they are not authorized to use. For example, imagine a URL like profile.php, ID equals 123. If you change 123 to 124 and suddenly see someone else's profile, that's IDOR in action. It's like being given a hotel room key and realizing it opens every door on the floor. Now, this isn't just theory. In 2025, the Hacktify Group's H6 web platform was found vulnerable to IDOR. Attackers manipulated the accredited parameter to access sensitive data belonging to other users. Not only could they view private information, but they were also able to impersonate other users and perform actions with elevated privileges. Another incident occurred in December 2024 with the eSignature component of eSignature products. By tweaking object identifiers and file paths, attackers access confidential documents without authentication. These cases serve as a wake-up call. IDOR isn't a theoretical risk. It's happening in real-world environments and causing real damage. With that foundation, let's walk through the Hacktify IDOR labs. These labs simulate vulnerable environments to give you hands-on experience. First up is the lab called Give Me My Amount. Here, after registering and logging in with a test account, I noticed that the profile page URL contained an ID parameter. Changing this number allowed me to view other users' profiles and, shockingly, edit their transaction details. This confirmed that there were no access controls tied to user sessions. Next is Stop Polluting My Params. This lab focuses on unauthorized profile access by modifying the URL. By simply changing the ID parameter, I could access profiles of other users and view their personal information like usernames and full names. Again, a clear lack of proper authorization checks. The third lab, titled Someone Changed My Password, demonstrates a serious flaw. After logging in, I found the URL of the change password page contained a username parameter. Modifying this parameter from my own username to admin loaded the admin account's password reset form. By changing the password, I effectively took over the admin account. This is a classic example of IDOR leading to vertical privilege escalation. Next, we have Change Your Methods. This lab reveals an IDOR vulnerability through weak access control around user profile access. By altering the ID parameter in the profile URL while logged in, I could access different user accounts. No additional checks were in place to verify ownership of the profile. What do all these labs have in common? The application relies too heavily on user control parameters and fails to enforce proper authorization on the server side. Now, let's discuss how to prevent IDOR vulnerabilities from creeping into your applications. First and most importantly, always implement comprehensive access controls. For every action a user tries to perform, the server must check if they are authorized to do it. In the Give Me My Amount lab, this would have blocked unauthorized users from modifying someone else's transactions. Second, use indirect object references. Rather than exposing raw database IDs in URLs or forms, use random, unguessable tokens. In the Stop Polluting My Params lab, the problem arose because user IDs were sequential and easy to guess. Switching to non-sequential identifiers would have made guessing much harder. Third, enforce session-based authentication. Actions like password resets should be tied to authenticated sessions, not user-supplied parameters. In the Someone Changed My Password lab, this simple measure would have prevented attackers from hijacking the admin account. Fourth, validate and sanitize user input thoroughly. In the Change Your Methods lab, simply ensuring that the ID in the URL belongs to the currently logged-in user would have stopped the attack. Fifth, conduct regular security testing. Use tools like Burp Suite or automated vulnerability scanners to catch these issues before they go live. Manual penetration testing and code reviews also play a vital role. Lastly, educate your development teams. Awareness is key. Developers who understand how IDOR attacks work will naturally build more secure applications from the ground up. By integrating these mitigation techniques into your development lifecycle, you'll significantly reduce your application's risk surface. Now, let's quickly recap what we've covered today. We discussed what IDOR is and why it's dangerous. We looked at real-world incidents that highlight its severity. We walked through several practical labs that demonstrated how attackers exploit weak object references. And finally, we explored actionable strategies to defend against these attacks. A complete write-up with all lab scenarios and detailed technical steps is available through the link in the description. Check out the Medium article and GitHub repository to follow along and practice on your own. Before we close, remember once again, this content is strictly for educational purposes. Use this knowledge to strengthen your applications and protect against malicious actors. Never test these techniques on systems without proper authorization. In previous tutorials, we explored HTML injection and cross-site scripting. Up next, I'll be tackling SQL injection, one of the most well-known vulnerabilities in cybersecurity. We'll look at advanced attack techniques, real-world case studies, and robust defenses. If you've encountered IDOR vulnerabilities in your own work or during bug bounty hunting, share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear how you approach these issues. If you're passionate about penetration testing, ethical hacking, or cloud security, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and don't forget to explore my GitHub for security-focused projects. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember, security isn't just a feature. It's a responsibility. Stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.